Let's welcome Dr. Ndou, who's a political analyst, and he joins us now to further unpack this. Doc, it's always a pleasure. Welcome to SA Today. So let's get right to Helen Zille's campaign bid, of course, for the mayoral chain for Johannesburg, the country's economic hub, where she has identified her 5 main priorities, namely fixing the water crisis in the city's roads, create 200,000 jobs, fight corruption, and also establish a modern government, according to her. Thoughts, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Alicia. Good afternoon to the viewers at home. Thank you for having me. I think we need to acknowledge now that the election season has been kick-started. Even though the election date has not been announced, political parties appear to be ready to start the campaign. But specifically, if you look at the Helen Zille's campaign, it is a campaign, in my view, that is clearly crafted and focusing on the issues that the citizens of Johannesburg have always been complaining about. It is not a campaign that is talking about so many things. High on the priority list are issues that relate to the proper supply of water and electricity. And I think it came at the right time that in the last few weeks, the citizens of Gauteng in general had serious problems when it comes to water. And that created a lot of frustrations to the citizens. And you could tell that it appeared as if those that are in leadership positions did not have a clue on how to deal with that. Of course, you need to be able to make bold statements. And that is exactly what Helen Zille is doing, promising the citizens of Johannesburg 200,000 jobs, talking about the issue that is in the lips of all the political parties that talks to good governance and the fight against corruption. My view is that it is linked, and I think it is going to be very good. It is linked to what President Ramaphosa spoke about: effective service delivery, fight corruption, make sure that basic services are provided to the people of the state of Johannesburg. And in my view, if indeed all these things can be achieved, you can have a working city.
And she specifically made reference to the demand of the water supplies. And we all know what has led to, of course, these high demands, basically just on the normal infrastructure, Doctor. So compared to her, as well as her other contenders like Herman Mashaba, as well as the ANC, which seeks to replace Morero with Masuku, we shall soon see. How does then she fare among this group that we also saw or know have actually serious GPU squabbles at the moment, before we even discuss others? I mean, we saw how the relationship with the DA and the ANC GPU actually crumbled. I mean, I ask this, Doctor, because I'm sure politicians now know that they have to share power, in most cases anyway.
The citizens of Johannesburg have tasted the leadership of Herman Mashaba. And I think that is why his party, Action SA, decided to put him as a mayoral candidate, because they know that he has got a better understanding of the dynamics in the city of Johannesburg. He has been there and he has got a lot of energy that has to be focusing on fixing the city of Johannesburg. And in his message, he talks about prioritizing and fixing the city of Johannesburg. My view is that when you have got national leaders who are being put in these positions, political parties appears to be saying that there has been, to a certain extent, a neglect of local government. And that is why political parties are bringing their best to local government, so that indeed it should be fixed. In any way, local government is a sphere of government that has to provide basic services. And when citizens say that government is working, they do that having assessed the performance of local government. Mr. Mashaba appears to be very ready to work with other political parties, but he has also started to indicate areas where it's not going to cooperate or cooperate. He says that he's not going to associate himself with any party that is going to defend people who are doing corruption. He says that he's going to ensure that he takes back the buildings that are hijacked. He says that he's not going to tolerate any party that is going to allow illegal immigrants in the city. So the message by Mashaba, the message by Helen Zille is very, very clear. What we still need to wait and see would be how the ANC would respond in terms of providing us with a candidate, how the EFF is also going to respond when they bring their own candidates. But with the ANC, would know that they will always say citizens have to vote for the party, and then they are going to identify the person who is going to lead. But that decision by both the GA and Action SA to bring national leaders to a certain extent does put pressure on the parties like the ANC to reconsider the people that they have to put in as the mayoral candidates.
Thank you for pointing that out, Doctor. Look, let's talk now about who might be fielded by the other big parties, like, of course, the EFF and the MKP, and the now merged Unite for Change. Do you foresee any strong candidates within these ranks that voters could entrust for service delivery-related matters that are currently seemingly irreparable at this current stage?
The pace has been set by Action SA and the Democratic Alliance. They are taking the best of what they have to become the mayoral candidates in the city of Johannesburg. We don't know who are the other leaders that they are going to put in the other metros, because the biggest area where, and indeed the Democratic Alliance and Action SA is focusing on, is mainly on the metros. So to a certain extent, as I've indicated earlier, it has got a way to put pressure on these other parties to put candidates, firstly, who are going to be able to appeal to the citizens on the ground, but also will be able to match the pedigree of Helen Zille and Emin Mashaba. And if they take this campaign lightly, they should be ready for a big surprise.
Absolutely. Great discussion there. Thank you so much for your engagement. That is Dr. Ndou, a political analyst with us on the various mayoral campaigns up for the city of Johannesburg.